Hello everybody, in this lesson I will show you how to solve for x by using the quadratic formula. Now first of all, we must understand that when you write it in the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, we call it standard form. And then there is usually a hint in your question that the quadratic formula should be used. When the question says, leave your answer in third form or give your answer to 2 decimal places. Example 1. Solve for x and leave your answer to 2 decimal places. Now there's the steps. Step 1. Write your equation in standard form. So that means the equals to plus 7 will walk across and it becomes 3x squared plus 6x minus 7 is equal to 0. That is standard form. Step 2. Assign values to a, b and c. Now a is the coefficient of x squared. That means the number in front of x together with its sign. B is the coefficient of x, so b's value is plus 6, and c is the constant value. Step 3, substitute. So now into the quadratic formula, and remember that one lives on the formula sheet. X is equal to, this minus is the minus inside the formula. B's value, positive 6, plus minus. B's value, 6 squared, and can you see the use of the brackets there? Minus 4, A's value is 3, and C's value is negative 7, over 2 times 3 because A is 3. Then, in the next step, I'm just going to zoom in on what is going on under the root sign there. We will end with 6 squared is 36. And then a minus times a minus is a plus. And 4 times 3 is 12. Times 7 is equal to 84. And then in the next step, you will see I added the 36 plus 84 is 120 under the root. And then the minus 6 just writes with over 2 times 3 is 6. And now we're going to split the sum. Can you see you find a plus minus there? So that means your first answer will be x is negative 6 plus root 120 over 6, or, and then the other one takes the minus. X is negative 6 minus root 120 over 6. And then we are back here. Now you slot all of this in your calculator in one go, and you end with x is 0,82574, etc. And they wanted it to be to 2 decimal places. So therefore you go to the third number there, and it's the third one that's going to change that second number. So when it's a 5 or greater than 5, it's going to change that into a 3. Therefore your answer, x is 0,83. Or, and then when I'm here now, when you slot all of that into your calculator, you end with x is minus 2,825, etc. So to 2 decimals, you go to this 5, and the 5 is going to change that into x is minus 2,83. Example 2. Solve for x and leave your answer in third form. And there's your steps. Step 1. Write your equation in standard form. Now you've got a serious problem. And your problem is that you've got an equation with fractions. So the first thing, if you remember, in lesson 1 I explained this, your problem is here on the second term, where the first thing that you're going to do is you are going to swap those two numbers at the bottom, at the denominator, around. So I haven't done anything yet. I just swapped them. And now when I pull out this minus, it's going to change that negative into a positive, and this one becomes a positive. And remember this, you also need to take out a negative, so it changes into a negative. So your next step, look there, is going to be the second term now, is plus x squared over positive x squared minus 1. But you're not done. This one can factorize. It's the difference of two squares. So you factorize it and it becomes x minus 1, x plus 1. Now it's an equation that contains fractions, so we find the LCD. And can you remember? You go to the first term, whatever you find there, you write that down. And then you go to the next term. There's already an x minus 1, so you don't write it again. And then suddenly there's an x plus 1, and then you write the x plus 1 down. Now, your next step is you have to multiply every term by the LCD. So therefore, I'm going to multiply the first term by x minus 1, x plus 1. And the second term, x minus 1, x plus 1. And the 4 on the other side, x minus 1, x plus 1. And then back here, x minus 1 and x minus 1 can cancel. And I'm left with this x plus 1 and x minus 3. Doesn't matter which order. And then you, in the second term, x minus 1 will cancel, x plus 1 will cancel, and I'm left with only the x squared. And then on the right hand side, I'm left with everything. Now, in your next step, you are going to multiply the brackets out, and you end with x squared minus 2x minus 3, and then the x squared writes with, and here you wait with the 4, and these two, when you multiply them out, you end with x squared minus 1. And then in your next step, you're going to add x squared plus x squared is 2x squared, and the minus 2x and the minus 3 writes with, and here you're going to multiply in the 4, and it becomes 4x squared minus 4. Now, we are actually here on the steps where it says, number 1, write your equation in standard form. So with that, I mean the 2x squared will walk across and become negative 2x squared. The negative 2x will walk across and become plus 2x, and the negative 3 will walk across and become plus 3. And now when you add, so there's a 0 on the left, and you're going to say 4x squared minus 2x squared is just 2x squared. And then the 2x, there's nothing that can add there. And then negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. Step 2, assign values to a, b, and c. So now your equation is in standard form, and you can say a is the coefficient of x squared, it's 2. B is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant. Now we substitute into the quadratic formula from the formula sheet. We have x is minus, and the minus is the minus from the formula. B's value is plus 2, plus minus. B's value is 2 squared minus 4. A's value is 2. C's value is negative 1 over 2 times 2. And then again, under the root sign here, 2 squared is 4. And then this part, a minus times a minus is a plus. 4 times 2 is 8 times 1 is 8. So under the line, we end with x is negative 2 plus minus, under the root, 12 over 4. And now, because it's plus minus here, we're going to split it into x is minus 2 plus root 12 over 4, or x is minus 2 minus root 12 over 4. In the next video, I will deal with an exam question on the quadratic formula. Click on the video in the left-hand corner to take you straight to the next lesson.